financial planning industry is going through a lot of turmoil at the moment, and that's basically stemming from the fallout of the Banking Royal Commission. Unfortunately, most of the discussion that is going on around what's happening in the industry is really not addressing some of the more serious developments that we are seeing. Recently, we've seen the government come out and announce how they are going to implement all of the recommendations of the Banking Royal Commission. But I think what's going on in this space has progressed beyond that. We are seeing a lot of dealer groups reducing their planner numbers right now. And some of the responses to that have been not a lot of concern, because the feeling is surely other dealer groups will pick up the planners that are being cut loose. But what's concerning is that a response like that takes into account, or does not take into account, capacity constraints. So even if other licensees did want to pick up some of the financial planners who are leaving or are being forced to exit other dealer groups, they just don't have the ability to do that. Now, grandfathered commissions have obviously been banned from the 1st of February 2021. But this is an issue that, again, is probably a bit of a microcosm of what's going on with the industry and how the issue is not being addressed. While the end date has been set, a lot of dealer groups are actually fast forwarding that so that they will be banning commissions way earlier than the 1st of January 2021. Now, the problem being is that a lot of practitioners don't actually have enough time to rearrange their business structure to compensate for this type of revenue stream that has to be replaced. Ultimately, that means a lot of financial planning practices are becoming unviable financially, which obviously again means that they're potentially going to have to exit the industry. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm sure the Royal Commission was not designed to bankrupt financial planning practices and to have good planners exit the industry. Yes, it was designed to weed out bad practices, potentially bad practitioners as well. But I think it was more designed to have a reset of where we're at and then move on in a more prudent manner. So I think the government needs to fast track where they are and start to address things like self-licensing perhaps. It wasn't necessarily on the table, but if that's the direction that we are fast moving towards, then there's the discussion as to how to facilitate that, do it in a more cost-effective manner, are some of the messages that I think the ministers have to start communicating to the financial services industry and, more importantly, the financial advice industry. Now, the ASIC report 627, which was released just this week, has actually shown that there is still an appetite for advice amongst consumers. If that is the case, then surely the situation cannot be allowed to evolve whereby planner numbers are reduced so much that only the wealthy can afford to seek financial advice. We have heard some research statistics telling us that the dramatic drop in financial planning numbers will not eventuate from the people that they've spoken to. However, I think those surveys are ignoring the fact that this is not necessarily the choice of financial planners to be actually exiting their dealer groups. Dealer group numbers are being slashed, whereby good planners are just being part of the collateral damage that's going on. And I think the government needs to sit back, recognise this, and start to take the lead on how we fix and address this issue.